Hello and welcome to your final Tuesday night game of the regular SRL season. I am Sticko Bro, joined by the Commissioner Lachlan Martin, as we are here to watch the Storm play the Knights.
Hey Sticko, how's it going? This should be an interesting matchup for both this season. These teams, their seasons are done despite obviously both teams starting off with massive wins in round one. I feel like that might have been the highest point in both these teams' season. Both these teams only having two wins heading into the final round of the season. Both these teams are playing for pride here, looking for a good victory it should be, and I'm looking forward to how this match plays out.
So am I. Interesting to note that Sonny Tyre leads out the Storm for his final game in their colours. Are we looking to send out much loved character with a win today, whereas the Knights have Mark Lee playing his last game for the Knights, and they will also be looking to send him out in a high. Anyway, Sonny Tyre is about to kick us off.
Yeah, look, Sonny Tyre, that is probably one of the most loved characters in the SRL entirely. He actually had Will Kay present him his jersey, and I think Will Kay probably shed a couple of tears, more so the fact probably that he's losing a 5-8 next season than a person. I don't think he really cares about that. But it should be good. Sonny Tyre is looking to lead that team, and I'm sure they're going to lead to a good victory here today.
Go to with the first hit up. Ash Crutcher spins it left out to Mark Vaughan before Vredo takes the hit up. Interesting to see that he didn't find his way back into the lock jersey for the last game of the season. I thought maybe the Knights would have experimented with that. As Vaughan goes to Ponkston, who's hit hard in his first stint back at fullback. He, of course, played halfback last week for the first half before switching in the second half, which was coincidentally when the Knights leaked all their points. So interesting that the Knights are putting back there again. Oh, almost a knock-on as Mark Lee takes it. A good defensive step from the Storm to start, only 32 metres gain. The Knights will be looking to kick out of trouble here. With Dokulich, interestingly, the big kicker, but he does have a big boot. Down to MBT, who's very dangerous on the kick return. Breaks one tackle. Goose steps Ponkston. A good start there for the Storm.
Yeah, look, I think it's been a very good start defensively for the Storm. They're sort of just working up fielders. Oh, Ben Punch, in fact, finds an offload. That's a good little start there from Punch and okay, but you know the Knights, they've had a good start. I feel they just sort of were kept down there. It was a good kick, but again, Ben Punch, what a start he's had. Just fine in
he's been
space. They've got
tremendous with his two touches.
Yeah, we've got to watch out.
Great. As Mellor takes it now, trying to follow up Ben Punch's lead. Yeah, offload and a line break in his first two carries is a strong start for him. As Sonny Tyre takes it to Will Kay, who's playing lock. Maybe with the extra speed, he'll be able to shore up the Storm defence a little bit, which has been a bit leaky with 30 points conceded last week. As Sonny Tyre goes high, Dokulich is a big man out there, and he takes it comfortably. Oh, and a little bit of a runaway with a break tackle, but Corey Bell brings.
Yeah, good stuff there by the Storm. Good set there, burn away outfield. But then they're going to leak a couple of line breaks here. Matthew Ford. Oh, a high shot there by Will Kay.
And also a goose step by Alex Christie, which is great to see from the prop forward. As Borson's, I think this is his first start in the 7, kicks for touch.
I feel like he may have started around 7 there, but other than that, he's not the most experienced 7. But he has a really good running game, Borson, and he has plays with a lot of heart. You know what you get from each game. He doesn't show anything different. He just plays his skin out everywhere he goes. Really hard-working player, so I really like to move to 7 for him.
As Ponkston beats one with a step off the inside ball from Borson's. Hopefully the Knights can string together a good set here. They have some good field position for the first time in this game as Borson turns it back inside to Mark Lee. So far, nothing too threatening, but with a couple of tackles to go, we'll see what the Knights can do. Borson's to Stafford Tour, who in the preseason had a lot of press from the Knights and has so far kind of failed to live up to the expectations as Borson takes a run for a big pass, a forward pass out to Dom Ponkston. And that's kind of the inexperience you were talking about, Lachlan.
Yeah, look, you probably won't be too impressed with that. Borson's just sort of, I think a lot of pressure was put on him by this Melbourne defence. He sort of just got up in his face and he forced his hand. Would have liked to see Borson's probably take on the line there, just take the tackle and set up for the next play. But unfortunately, so far, the Knights are a little bit disorganised. We saw an in lock on earlier from Mark Lee, and now we have a forward pass. They're getting opportunities, but they seem very disorganised at the moment.
Well, that's the thing when you change your spine around so much. It's hard to build those combinations. The Storm have also changed their spine, but for today's game, and they don't seem to have any of that kind of rust. As Riley Murray takes a nice carry on the 5th tackle, a strong step from the Storm. They'll be looking to punt to get them out of trouble, and they'll have to watch the kick return because we know how good Miko Rashford is as he takes it. A bit of a broken defence, but the Sonny Tyre, I think it is, comes across in cover, and that's the kind of heart and enthusiasm that guy can bring to a team.
Yeah, look, there's a reason that he's been chosen as the inaugural Cronulla captain. just because how he plays, as hard he puts out there on the field. He leaves everything out there, Sonny Tyre. And that was a great little play there, but a great break there from Mark Lee. Probably didn't need to probably offload, but both these teams throwing a lot at each other early on, but neither finding the, getting over the line yet.
Yeah, it's a classic. Neither of these teams are unfortunately going any further in their season, so they play with a bit more freedom as Don Ponkston slices through, but a good cover tackle, I think, by Malcolmus there. Corey Bell didn't need to get involved. A great set from the Knights. We'll have to see if they can finish off with a strong kick as Matthew Vaughan goes high. Taken by Coda Dehab, but he's wrestled down to the ground, and that's a good place to hand the ball over. About 5 out from the Storm line, and they're going to have to work really hard now to get out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Dehab was the one going up with it. He came down with it, but he couldn't really do much else with it. But the Storm, both teams showing a lot of heart early on, trying some things out. Storm are getting rested inside their 20. If the Knights can keep them down inside their own 40, that would be massive for them moving forward in this game.
Yeah, and Boston just wraps up his old Blue Tongues teammate, Riley Murray there. A bit of a connection. They're probably having a giggle in the tackle. Sonny Ty with a nice offload to Corey Bell before it goes out to Bonsakahu, who I believe has his first start in the halfback jersey for the Storm, so big props to him. Blake Harris out to Will Kay, out to Sonny Ty, who's tackled on the 5th tackle here. Potential for a 40-20 kick, but with Sonny Ty tackled, it might be the lock, Will Kay, who has to take this kick. It is. And again, down to Miko Rashford, who is not a man I would like to see having lots of kick returns if I were the Storm fan. He's really dangerous. He has a collection of kick return tries now, but so far this game hasn't been able to get going.
Yeah,
Dokalic at half.
It's interesting in the kick to Miko. Maybe they sort of don't like him taking those early hit-ups that he can take in this game, and they feel like he has a lot of freedom when he does that. But so far, they've definitely been aiming to make sure that he's the one that they sort of tackled down in their own end, and that obviously was a good tackle there on Miko Rashford.
Yeah, it was. As Alex Christie goes through for his second line break of the game, no goose step this time, and luckily for him, no high tackles either. It might be HIA'd off. Corey Bell did well there to cover, but now the Knights are on the attack. Off Redo's head. Corey Bell makes another tackle, 2 tackles in 2 plays, so he's going to be a little bit out of position for this last tackle kick. We'll have to see what Vaughan can come up with, a little grubber, and Dom Ponkston is through. Dom Ponkston has scored the first try of the game for the Knights after a strong yardage set. They started that set on their own 20-metre line, and they've gone 80 metres to score.
Yeah, that was a really good set there by it. So, obviously, Miko Rashford and a good tackle on him, but every other play pretty much they had a line break. Alex Christie getting his head through the line. Ponkston had a few good touches in the set, so did Vaughan. That was a brilliant kick there by Vaughan. Back in the half, by that jersey this week, I should say, and it was a brilliant little grubber kick there. And Dom Ponkston scores the opening try for the Newcastle Knights 12 minutes in.
Yeah, great start. Vaughan should throw this ball over. It looks like Ponkston's finally returning to that pre-Bali form. He had a couple of weeks off with a variety of injuries and went and built some houses for some orphans in Bali. But he was a bit tired when he got back, and it took him a while to get back into the swing of things. But with that, it's looking like maybe today, in the final game of the season, he can really show why he's such a highly valued player at this Knights team.
Yeah,
Sonny Ty looking to kick off.
Look, I don't feel bad for Ponkston. You know, a really good start to the season. Scored a try in every one of his games, but injuries just screwed him this season. How do you have not got injured? He could genuinely have been contending up there for, some major awards at the end of the season, but I just feel with the injuries that he had, he might struggle because he's definitely been... He's been very good in every game he's played, tried his heart out. It's just been, unfortunately, sometimes he's just been a little bit tired, had a couple of injuries, had a niggle all season that has caused him to miss 2 matches. So Ponkston, he probably won't be impressed with his injuries that he's had, but I feel like there's things bright for him next season with, after, obviously, probably a breakout season this year at fullback.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have to say he'd be close to polling points in every game that he played this season, but when you miss a quarter of the season almost with injury, it makes it hard to really contend for those higher honours. As Mark Lee tips off to Christie, who goes through again. He's having almost a breakout game so far, 3 line breaks in the first 20 minutes. And he's really got this Knight team's going forward as Crutcher goes out to Vaughan. A little tip-on play to Dylan Murray, who beats one, but wrapped up quite comfortably there in the end, as the Knights are looking to kick themselves into a good position here. They worked really hard on their kick chase last set, and as Trey Bonsakahu uses that big headgear to stop the ball, and all of a sudden the Storm are in a really good position on tackle 1.
Yeah, they won't be impressed with that. The Newcastle Knights was a good set off the point, but just the kick just wasn't there for Vaughan. He tried to put a kick in, but obviously Trey Bonsakahu putting pressure on him and couldn't get the kick away. Melbourne now have a good opportunity now to put some pressure on this Newcastle defence, moving upfield. Already 4th tackle, 4th third, and maybe in a position to put an attacking kick at the end of the set.
Yeah, you'd hope so. As Luke Malkus pops up on that left edge, scarily close to an outside back position for such a big guy, Storm will be looking to put in a big kick here, but it might just be a punt with where they are. And it is outdoor Hone King, who also is not too bad in the kick return, but wrapped up quite comfortably there by a good Storm chase. And now the Knights have to work their way out of trouble. Dylan Murray goes off to Mark Lee, who a little tip-on play to Coda Diab, who isn't able to break the line, but gets some good post-contact meters. Crutcher spins it right.
Oh, no.
Out, ooh. And Christie, after such a good start, has to clean up that knock-on, and all of a sudden the Storm are in a real good position here.
Yeah, this is the Storm's first opportunity today. I'm interested to see how they go with their new look spine. They haven't tried all season, but it's going to be interesting to see.
I don't think the Storm last week excluded, obviously, they were held to nil. They haven't had a trouble scoring points this season. It's been more the defence. So when they've been down there in these good attacking opportunities, they've normally made the most of it. But with a new spine, we'll have to wait and see. As Riley Murray gets oh so close to the line, but he's pushed backwards strongly there by Borson's end. I think that's Sabbath Tour. Blake Harris spins it left to Sonny Tyre. Big cutout. MBT, great tackle. The big man, Johnny Dokulich, just wraps him up. He uses that big arm span. As now Dylan Sharp goes to Sonny Tyre, who grabs it through to Corey Bell. Pushing, but he isn't able to get there. And that's a great stop for the Knights because Corey Bell knows how to find the try line.
Yeah, I actually believe heading into this game, Corey Bell is currently the leading try scorer in the comp. I think he has 9 tries to his name. But so far, that was very good attacking set there by the Storm. But the Newcastle defense, they've had a lot of heart there. Not many players can tackle NBT one-on-one, and Dokulich made it look easy. And then Corey Bell, he looked certain to score off that rubber kick, but a couple players got around him, they swarmed him, and they managed to keep him out. And so far, the Newcastle Knights playing with a lot of heart. Melbourne haven't scored for quite a while now. They didn't score, obviously. They haven't scored in two first halves in a row. I wonder if that's going to stay the same this game, because at the moment they're quite struggling a little bit.
And that's got to be played on their mind, right? They know that they haven't scored in quite a while, with Boston's a big meterage kick out to MBT, and they know that they haven't scored, and every minute they go without scoring, MBT goes away. And he's touched, and Ash Crutcher comes across in a great tackle after I think it was Mike Boston with a big ankle tap. And that's just the kind of thing when you haven't scored in a while, all these half chances just seem to take. The ball doesn't bounce your way, or the flip of the coin lands the wrong way. I would have thought MBT was a certainty to score there, but the Knights were just able to wrap him up. But now the Storm are in a great position to take advantage of their pointers. Blake Harris spins it right to Bonzakahu, out to Corey Bell. A little tip on play again, but Sean Walker's wrapped up. Ooh, it's just oh so close to the Knights line. With the Storm get through here as Bonzakahu takes a tackle, 5th tackle, pushing, but Dom Pogson comes in to hold him up. One more tackle here for the Storm. It's a little grower from Will K. Sonny Tyre chasing, but Alex Christie wraps up and he's through again. Does this man ever stop making meters? As the Knights there with another great defensive set.
Yeah, that just shows how much heart they're playing with Newcastle. That's another brilliant set there. Brilliant tackle brilliant tackle on Bonzakahu before they put the kick in, and it looked like for certainty they were going to find a try. But again, the prop forward of Christie got back there, and he makes 20 meters afterwards. He's more than made up for the error he had early on that put them under pressure, because their defense has been incredible to start this game, Knights. NBT scores there 99 times out of 100 there, and just somehow Borson's with the ankle tap, then Ash Crutcher coming across to make a tackle. Brilliant stuff there by the Knights.
Yeah, exactly. But MBT gets another chance, but he's wrapped up again by Borson's. Alex Christie, I think, had 4 line breaks in his 20 minutes on the field, which is outstanding for him as Riley Murray takes the hit up the middle of the Storm. They're going up and down the field with the Knights, but they just can't seem to crack the line when they get down there. So we'll have to see if anything changes. A little outside-inside play, intercepted by Mark Lee. In his final game for the Knights, will he get over the line? No. Bonzakahu wraps him up. The old bull chased down by the young calf as Bonzakahu wraps up Mark Lee. Off to Quinton Cotter. Now, this is a really good opportunity for the Knights. 3 tackles to come on the Storm line. If they can crack them here, after really being resolute in their defence up the other end, as Redo pushes, and I think he gets it down. Just as I was saying, the Knights will be looking to score. Peter Vredo, with a mammoth effort, just seems to get over the line.
Yeah, so far this game has reminded me a lot of what happened in round 1. Obviously in round 1 against Penrith, they started with a lot of defence, then got some relatively easy tries, just pushing fine in spaces when they got down there. And then after all that work done early on, their backs opened up. Melbourne have to be really careful, because right now the Knights look all over the Storm. And Melbourne, They've had a lot of opportunities, but the desperation from the Knights just shows how much heart they're playing with. You know, it's probably quite annoying for Polkson and Mark Lee, because they probably would have thought, had they played with this heart all season, they could be playing finals right now.
Oh, that sounds all too familiar as we look at the Warriors' results over the last few weeks. It's all about the what-ifs, but there's no what-ifs anymore for the Knights and the Storm. It's only about the here and the now, and the Storm are going to be looking to really come back from that, because the Knights are looking red hot at the moment. They're defending outstandingly. When they get down to the Melbourne line, they're just finding a way to crack it. And the Storm so far haven't had any answers. I'd like to see Will Kay get involved more at lock. They put him there to try and make an impact, and so far he really hasn't had the impact that they desired. But yeah, with 20 minutes to go roughly in the half, will be interesting to see what the Storm can come up with, as Quinton Cotter takes the first carry there for the Knights out of trouble. Spins it left to Matthew Vaughan, as Starford Tour takes a big hit up, and the Knights just seem to be able to roll down the field so nicely. As Crutcher plays it off to Vaughan, to Ponkston, beats Bonzakahu, but Corey Bell wraps him up, as he seems to be so good at doing recently. He's had a lot of practice, Corey Bell, at covering up line breaks, because the Storm have been leakier than a boat with 4 holes in it at the moment, as Hone King takes a hit up. Knights are just rolling down the field so easily here. Vredo with another line break following his try. Corey Bell again has to wrap up. And in their first set after points, the Knights have just read from the handbook about how to complete, because this is tremendous. As Vaughan puts up the kick, a nice high one. Looks like Hone King going for it, and he takes it, but wrapped up comfortably there by the Storm defence. And they're on the ropes here, the Storm. The Knights have really got them, and they're just trying to land that knockout punch.
Yeah, that was a really good set off the points bar for Newcastle. It's just up the field. Ponkston getting involved nicely. Their entire forward pack getting involved nicely. Guerrero, he's had a great start to this game. Really good on that far edge there, just poking holes through Melbourne Storm defense like it's easy work. And, well, Melbourne Storm with the fight, so that's a great run. That's a massive run there by Mudafar Philly. They really needed that, the Melbourne Storm. That can go a long way to winning this game if they come back, because that's a major run there.
Yeah, that's the kind of impact you want from your bench, isn't it? Manu Firefly with his first touch in a big 40-metre run. But just touching on Redo, there's been a bit of noise out of the Knights camp about how he's not getting enough touches. Oh, there's a big bump off from Blake Harris. Forget Pete Redo. Blake Harris is here to make a mark for his game. The young man who's a tiny bit controversial shows why everyone wants him in their team with talent like that, as he just storms over for a try.
You know, I was one few. Blake Harris was probably one of the few positives from last week. You know, despite what happened last week, Blake Harris is probably the best player, and he's been really good replacing Sam Herbert since he's got it active. And right there, that was great stuff there. Just a little show and go. Fended off one player straight from Ponkston. He just made a massive tackle to MBT. He wasn't back there to cover. And unfortunately, Blake Harris has too much pace and scores a brilliant try under the post. And Melbourne going to be down only by 6, and that's exactly the try they needed. That's a brilliant stuff there from the Melbourne Storm. And hey, we're back in the game now. We're showing a little bit of heart.
Yeah, exactly. It only takes one try and you're right back in this game. And it all comes off the back of Manu Philly's big break. He had the big break down the left, then MBT to follow, and then Blake Harris off the back of it. It was just 3 powerful runs back to back. And if the Storm can string more sets like that together, well, maybe this season isn't quite so dire for them. Maybe they can come off with a win here as Vaughan kicks off.
Yeah, well, I said when it happened, Manu Philly's run would be massive if they were to come back from it. They score a try off it that makes it even bigger. You know, it's really good stuff there from the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, it's all about seizing the moments, isn't it? As Philly takes the first carry for the Storm. Off to Sonny Tyre, who dishes to Caleb Jeff, who's just come onto the field. As well, looking to match his partner, Philly, in impacting this game, as Riley Murray takes a nice strong carry. Some good post-contact meters, but Starford Tour, I think it is. Sorry, Quinton Cotter wraps him up. As Mellett goes inside to Corey Bell, steps one, but a great cover tackle. They're just not giving him the little bit of space that he needs to really have a big impact on this game. As Will Kay ball plays out to Riley Murray, uses his head to control it. Interesting tactic, but it all works out for him. And now a big punt, and they're going to have to work really hard on their kick defence, because neither Hone King or Miko Rashford have had a big go this game so far, but we all know they can. As I said, Hone King goes through, but Corey Bell takes him. Again, another big try taker from Corey Bell. He's really having a mammoth effort this game.
Yeah, Corey Bell never stops trying. He's always really good at fullback. Even last week when they lost by 30, I'm pretty sure he ran for over 200 metres and had 6 line breaks. Like, he's just always there, Corey Bell, making a bunch back. There's another one there. Polkston breaks through, but Corey Bell's there. I really hate to think what happens if Corey Bell wasn't there for the Storm, because I think it'd be a little bit ugly.
Well, yeah, I don't think any team would go too well if they didn't have a fullback in the SRL. They do make a lot of tackles. As the Knights have a chance here to go back to a 2-score game with a big pass out of Pogson, but he's wrapped up pretty easily by Sonny Tyre. It was a bit of a floaty spiral pass, and there wasn't much that Dom Pogson could do when he received it. As Boston takes it, goes high. Who's underneath it? It looks like, Maverick Oldfield takes that easily. And that kick's just maybe a metre or two too shallow to really have an impact in this game.
Yeah, probably not the kick they would have liked. I feel like they never really got a chance to... Well, actually, it was kind of interesting there, because the chase was there, but they for some reason just let Maverick catch it. Mark actually had a height advantage there. For some reason, he chose not to, as, oh, we have a break.
Yeah, nice little offload there from Caleb Jeff, I think. Finds his prop partner, Manu Farfili, who really... Oh, and Blake Harris thought he found an offside marker, but couldn't quite get there. Sonny Tyre, at dummy half. Goes to Farfili, who bumps off again. And now an offload. He's seen what Alex Christie did, Farfili, and he's come onto the field and say, I can match it because he's having a cracker game so far. As Caleb Jeff plays it to Harris, out to Bonzakahu. A little grubber, but Dylan Murray takes it and finds 15 metres as well for his efforts.
That was pretty good by Dylan Murray. It actually looked like a really good kick from Trevor Takahu, but Dylan Murray just chased back, got the ball, and made a little bit of a break too, worked his way upfield. Both teams showed a lot of heart, still just competing on every single play, and that's another example of how the Knights just sort of making sure they stay in the game. They would not want to be the next team to concede Newcastle.
Not at all, and you say both teams are playing with heart. They'd both be looking up at the clock, and they have just over 50 minutes or 40 minutes on to play in this season, and everyone knows you only get one chance to play with such a special group of players like each team has at the moment. A lot's going to change next season, and each team's going to want to go out strong. As Mark Lee has a big punt out of trouble, he was just outside the 40, so no worry, it was a 40-20. As Brian Thompson steps one, but Big Ponkston's there to stop him. Knocks him down like he's one of those old houses in Bali that he was trying to rebuild. As Dylan Sharp spins it to Riley Murray, who's ball playing out to far Philly. That's another facet to Riley Murray's game that we haven't quite seen so far. As Harris goes right to Ty, to Bonzakahu, to Corey Bell, who breaks one tackle but can't break a second. Wrapped up well there by Dylan Murray.
Yeah, well, so far, obviously, 4 minutes till half time. I think the Newcastle will all make sure they don't concede before the break, because otherwise it could be real dangerous if the Melbourne go to half time with a little bit of a leap in their step, and if the scores are tied.
Yeah, you don't want Knights won't be wanting Storm to score here because it'll just really wipe out such a good first half they had. As Sonny Tyre goes high, and you have to think this is the chance for the Storm. As Corey Bell takes it, but he's held up. He can't push over the line. And Knights will just be looking to put the ball back down the Storm and then go into half-time with a lead. As Vaughan tips on to Ash Turner.
I almost feel that Storm will be better attacking from the 20 to 30 metre line, because so far their attack's been way too good. People players have been too flat if they're attacking only 10 metres out, and Newcastle dealt with it relatively easily at some point. So I'd like to see, I almost think that if Melbourne could attack from 30 to 40, 20 out, they'd probably do better than what they are doing at the moment.
Yeah, it's almost like the Knights are comfortable when they're on their line, and they don't like so much when Storm get a bit of momentum and they're attacking from that 40, like you say. Don Polston breaks one, beats one with the inside ball, but Corey Bell wraps him up. I was going to say Melbourne have a lot of strike players, but they just can't seem to get the ball in the right positions at the moment. As Polston plays it to Mark Lee, who decides with not much time on the clock, he'll just take a tackle, bleed the clock down and try and get into half-time with a lead. But Storm have one last opportunity here. As the dummy half runs off the field, his little old mousetrap play, haven't seen that for a while. Sonny Tyre takes the hit up.
You're not sure what that was over, but at the moment, the Storm... Well, I think they'll be happy to get a half-time 12-6. I feel like Knights have been better than 12-6, but at the moment, the Storm are just hanging in there barely. Those half-time subs when they came on 1-5 really had a massive impact, and it's definitely changed the momentum of the game. It's definitely started to lead a little bit more towards the Storm with only 20 seconds to half-time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The Knights really dominated that first 20 minutes, but since the subs came on, as Malcast subs has also subbed back on and makes a little line break. Since the subs have come back on, Storm have wrestled their way back into this game. And going into half-time, I think this is anyone's game. It'll be up to a big half-time chat from Sonny Tyre or Mark Lee to really inspire their team.
From video editing to thumbnail design, Flow Managing covers all of your YouTube and social media needs, relieving the stress of finding creative workers and giving you more time to be creative yourself. Why wait? Join Flow Managing and we will work for you.
Welcome back to Amy Park as we have the second half of this enthralling Knights v Storm game. The Knights are currently up by 6 points, but the Storm really came home with a wet sail and will be looking to send out hometown hero Sunny Tyre on a high. Lachlan Martin's here with me as always again. Looking forward to a good half.
Yeah, look, it should be after that. Was an incredible first half. Both teams throwing a lot of punches. Brian Thompson pulled the Storm, despite being caught at that amazing run, which I thought he was going for. Had five runs for 4 line breaks, which is really good. But even more impressive is Alex Christie, the big front rower, who's back on the field now. 23 minutes, 104 metres with 5 line breaks. What a half he had.
Yeah, he was outstanding. It felt like every time he touched the ball, he was running for 30 metres at a time and no one could touch him. But Storm have had a good meterage set here so far. Up to the halfway with their first set of the game as Sean Walker plays the ball out to Blake Harris, who goes to Caleb Jeff, who almost makes another line break, but he's tackled there just in time by Crutcher. The Storm are looking to punt here. I keep talking about these Knights wingers that have been so good on their kick returns, but they're yet to really make an impact, as Miko Rashford wrapped up again by Trey Bronson, who's really had him in his pocket so far.
Yeah, look, so far I think both the wingers I think all the wingers have been relatively kept quiet. Obviously, Brian Thompson has had a lot of space, but I feel like overall the Knights have still managed to make tackles on him, as that's a dangerous pass hole, but it works out, and Ponkston looking to get his head for the line. But yeah, both teams, all 4 wingers for the most part, have been kept relatively quiet, despite obviously both teams. We know how good all the wingers are for both teams, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can maybe ignite in the second half.
It was Mark Lee with a big fend off, and now an offload to Pete Redo, who's really been good, Mark Lee, so far. He's definitely winning the battle of the locks up against Will Kay. But yeah, perhaps as teams get more fatigued, the wingers will be able to have a big impact as Vaughan goes really high, maybe into the crossbar, as Mark Lee cleans up, but a great cover tackle there by the Storm to keep this lead only at 6 points.
Yeah, usually it's the opposition that's lucky about the hit the crossbar, but I feel like Knights are feeling a bit lucky. It didn't hit the crossbar, because if that doesn't hit the crossbar, I think Mark Lee catches it on the full and scores. Corey Bell had lost where the ball was and had no idea. He was standing about 5 minutes back, or about 2-3 minutes back from where the ball was gonna land. So yeah, that didn't hit the crossbar. Mark Lee probably catches that and scores. Melbourne very lucky there.
And sometimes all you need is the bounce of a ball, or in this case, the bounce of the crossbar to get you back in the game. As the Storm have had a good set on the comeback from that, as they go out to Riley Murray, who's been so far so good, but playing 80 minutes second row really tested him. As the Storm go to Sunny Tyre with a not so good kick. Miko Rashford picks up, beats one, slices through, but Corey Bell's there as always to wrap him up and save the Storm losses.
Yeah, that was something there. That was very dangerous there, Miko, but once again, Corey Bell's back there to make a tackle. He's probably been close to the Storm's best player behind the likes of, well, probably NBT's been very good, but Corey Bell hasn't had a lot of ball, to be honest, but he's had a lot of, in defense, I feel like he's been really covering the Storm on a lot of occasions, and he's just been trying his heart out, but the Storm, he needs to have some support here, you know, he can't do it by himself, so that's a good run there by Tu'uofa as they get to the last tackle now.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see his tackle count, Corey Bell, because it feels like every set they're putting him under pressure as Boston's goes high. This is a good kick.
Oh, no.
Oh, and the tap back, but lucky Tua's picked it up. Don Ponks did great there to get above the pack, but as is the fullback, there wasn't anyone there behind him to clean up as Malquist takes a big carry out of the half to try and get this Storm set rolling. I think you're right in saying Corey Bell needs a little bit of support. They just haven't really given him the ball in good areas. There's been a lot of give him the ball and hope for the best, but if they can just do a little bit of work on the inside to free him up, I reckon he could have a big impact on the game. As Riley Murray gets driven back there by the Knights' defence, Sabbath Tour has him all comfortably in control there. Jack Jimmy on the field for his SRL debut and a nice little goose step to go with his first carry. I'll be interested to see how he goes. He has a lot of speed. As the Storm go back to Sunny Tyre, a little bit of a better kick. Finds the grass at least, which is good, but not a whole lot of meterage. So Sunny needs to get back on the money if the Storm have any chance of winning this game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with her. I think that at the moment, the Knights are well and truly winning the field position battle as Ponk's doing another brilliant run here. He's going to be up to the 30 already. Just the Knights, they're winning the field position battle by quite a lot. Storm have to find something to get back into this game because right now, they just don't look like they're in the game at all as they push up forward here nice. I think they're happy just winning the field position battle without scoring. They're just happy to keep the Storm down there. But that's a matchup. Massive pass there. Blake Harris with another big play.
Yeah, Blake Harris is really standing tall here for the Storm. He scored their only try, and that was a big intercept and then a bump off as well to find an extra 30 metres or so and put the Storm in really... And now I held in tackle, so the problem is just compounding for the Knights here. I was about to say Storm have their first good chance to put some pressure on the Knights, and that pressure is just amplified with the penalty as Bonzakasu finds touch. It'll be really interesting to see what the Storm have come up with. They had a good chance at halftime to regroup and figure out what's going on and why they haven't been able to crack the line. So a big set here, and likewise a big set for the Knights defence, who's been quite resolute so far, but it'll all be for nothing if they don't hold it out here. As Lucky Tua with a big hit up, another settler for the Storm. They've burned a couple of players early. As he goes out to Riley Murray, he's pushing for the line, but turned onto his back there by some good Knights defence. Blake Harris goes left to Sonny Tyre, trying to get us try in his last game, but he's also comfortably driven back there by the Knights defence. Oh, but with that, Lucky Tua goes straight through off a quick play the ball from Sonny Tyre. The Knights defence wasn't allowed to find their spacing again, and Lucky Tua strolls through a hole to put the Knights back on, to put the Storm back on level pegging.
Yeah, Mark Lee and Ponks will be very disappointed with their side there. They will win in the position massively, give away a penalty, and that was just a yawning gap. In fact, maybe they'll be disappointed themselves there because it was kind of them in the area. Mark Lee and Ponkson sort of standing on top of each other. They should have had one shuffled out to make that tackle. The gap just opened up. And Lucky Tua makes it look easy. And, well, Sonny Tyre gets this kick. It'll be 12 all.
Yeah, and just like that, this game's all square again. And if you're going to make mistakes like the Knights did there with the penalty, first the intercept and then the penalty, you need to be able to back yourself up. That's what the really good teams can do in the SRL. And they weren't able to there, and now they're up. They were all going downhill. They were in cruise control, but now they're in an uphill battle to wrest momentum back in this game because this Storm crowd is building and they want to send out their boys on a high to finish the season.
Yeah, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Blake Harris from Melbourne. So I feel like it's been really good. He got the intercept. He scored the first try. He's had some big moments in this game, Blake Harris, and I think he's looking to continue that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He's been tremendous, hasn't he? And he's a guy everyone likes to see go well. Malchus takes a big hit off the kickoff. Sonny Tyre goes wide to Riley Murray, who's had a lot of carries so far this half, but he'll be looking to make a little line break or something to really have an impact. Sonny Tyre takes a big hit up. He said that worked so well last time leading to a try, so I'll try it again. As Blake Harris now goes out to Malchus, who's ball playing out to Bonzakahu, out to Malhurt, who we haven't seen too much this game. It's been more Roto on that edge that's really had control. And now Bonzakahu looked like he was going for a 40-20, but Ponkston breaks through. But again, Corey Bell is there to soak up any issues the Storm defence have had so far. But he can't be there all game, can he? Eventually, he's going to have to crack as Rashford goes down the sideline, precariously coached to that sideline, but manages to stay in. Out to Stafford Tua, who just takes a nice settler. This will give a chance for the Knights to regroup and see if they can throw something at the Storm here. As Coda Diab takes it up right in front of the post, they'll be able to go left or right here. They have options both ways. They spin it left. Lachlan Tierney takes another settler and he pushes for the line, but he's turned on his back. This has been quite poor from the Knights so far, but they can save it with a good fifth tackle here. Goes to Vaughan, who a little grubber, but
Blake
taken
Harris,
easily. Yeah, Blake Harris on the clean-up crew. Trapped and scrapped. And that's the kind of heart and the kind of enthusiasm that a young player can bring to your team. It's his second or third season in the SRL now, but we all know how much heart he brings to this Storm team.
Yeah, look, so far he's been very, very good, Blake Harris. I actually feel like wherever he's played this season, he's been very good. He was played very good in 5-8 in parts of the season, and now he's playing very good as hooker. I just think that, you know, so far he's just playing very well.
Bonzakahu with a huge kick to get the Storm out of trouble. Turns Dom Ponkston around completely, and he might have been spun on the way back, but Bonzakahu leaves a great kick chase to have the Knights pinned in a bit of trouble here. They'll be looking for someone like Tierney or maybe Dave O'Noffel. He's parked himself out at centre, but he's fresh. He didn't play the first half to have a big carry here to get himself out of trouble. As they go to Ponkston, he's not able to break one. The Mohawked man brought down easily there by the Storm defence. They go to Crutcher, out to Tua. There's my man Davo with a line break as well. That's what we like to see. Noffle and Gowie, limited minutes, but big impact. Rashford goes to Crutcher, who just takes a settler there. Not so bad a step from the Knights in the end. They're able to get into the Storm half, and with a big punt here and a great kick case, they could get a little bit of momentum back in this game as Borson goes very deep. out to Broughton Thompson, who's dangerous, but
Tackle.
oh yeah, that was a brick wall of defense there. They weren't letting him go anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's Boston to knock Lingawi on that tackle. That's a massive, massive tackle. They needed that one. And now the Storm are sort of in a bit of trouble here, though, but that's a great run there by Caleb Jeff, and that just lets it all go there.
And the offload out to Riley Murray, and another offload out to Jack Jimmy. This is enterprising play from the Melbourne Storm. The season's over for them, but their spirit is not broken as they're trying to play some champagne footy here in the last half of the season for them. As Trey Bonzakahu takes a nice little seller there out to Lecky Tua, the try scorer, who throws almost a forward pass to Melhurt, but he breaks it back when Pogston cleans up, which means he's going to be out of position for the fifth tackle here. So we'll have to see what the Storm can do. They go out to Malchus, who, with a pass that wasn't so great, had dummy half. He just had to clean up there, and that was a big chance for Lachlan.
Yeah, they literally threw that one away. Not sure what they're doing there. That's disappointing there. Straight off the tap, Reese played the ball. Kona King makes 35 metres, and now the Storm are back under pressure again.
Yeah, perhaps symbolic of their season so far, the Storm. They look good for patches, but when they really need to step up and have a good defensive or offensive set, they can't quite seem to put the finishing touches on the play. As Crutcher goes out to Christie, who's out dominating. Christie hasn't been as good this half as he was in the first half. Yet to be seen, actually, with the ball, but perhaps he can have an impact now. Good set from the Knights. They picked up the ball on their own 10-metre line and they found their way down to the Storm 30. So with a big kick and another good kick chase like they had last set, they might be able to just slowly turn the screws here on the Storm. As Broughton Thompson gets it, and a great tackle there. I think that's Davo. Lots of stamina. I've been riding the pine for the first 40 minutes. As Riley Murray breaks one tackle, a nice little bump off there, but Don Pogston wraps him up comfortably.
Yeah, it's a good run there by Riley Murray, but he's just... The Storm, both these teams sort of testing each other out still. 19 minutes to go. Either team can win. It's going to be whoever takes the next opportunity that wins this game, I think.
Yeah, definitely. In a game that's been very defense-orientated, maybe it'll come down to a field goal. Maybe Sonny Tai can be the hero again as he takes a big punt from just a step outside his 40. And Pogston is on the ice skates and he can't seem to turn around. And so a master stroke from Sonny Tyre.
Yeah, well, it's basically 40-20 there. Pogston just... Yeah, he had enough room now. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he saw someone in the crowd. Maybe he saw his grandmother in there or something that he wanted to go say hi to. But he might as well at that point just jump over the fence and sit in the crowd himself, because that's very cool by the Knights vice captain.
Yeah, he just clocked off for half a second, didn't he? Maybe he saw one of those kids that he saved from an orphanage in Bali in the crowd. They come over to support him and wanted to say hello. I'm not sure. As Dylan Sharp now out to Broughton Thompson and just strolls through a gaping hole. NBT, also his final game from the Storm, has made his mark. And perhaps there can be a glimmer of hope here for the Storm going into next season.
Yeah, it was a good run there by Broughton Thompson, Nothlingawi not going out far enough while... I don't know what Connor King was doing on the wing when there was no one out there, just sitting there catching a culprit, but in the end, Broughton Thompson goes over with ease. And maybe
we should send security down to that corner, because first Don Pogston's tried to jump the fence to get into the crowd, and now Hot King's done exactly the same thing. Is there a big sledger down there? Is there a nude man running around? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I think I saw, the Knights have been thoroughly distracted.
Yeah, I think they get pretty violent down in Melbourne, so maybe there was some rogue AFL fans getting into the crowd or something. If two of the Knights creative, if I saw some rogue AFL fans, I'd probably want to do this jump the fence too. So I think that's warranted.
Yeah, but the coach might not think so, as they're down by 6 now with less than 20 to play, and the Knights, who have been so strong so far this game, have now found themselves behind. They've been winning the meterage battle, they've been winning the ruck, but now the Storm are winning the game as Ben Punch takes a nice carry, but Crutch is there on his back to keep him down. Almost a hip drop that, actually, but luckily no harm done. As Riley Murray, there we go, that's a nice big line break for him. He's been threatening all game, but there's the kind of impact that we know he can have as Don Pogston wraps him up, but now he's out of position as Corey Bell steps one, but wrapped up comfortably there at the end by Borsons, who's been quite the defensive sponge. She's been really good so far, Borsons. As Sharp now takes one up the middle. He's come back on for his props in Dylan Sharp. He's not such a big body as someone like Johnny Docklich on the other side, but he does pack a punch. As an interesting kick by Sonny Tyre, he's really going through the kit bag to find what he can pull out. He's given us all sorts of things today.
Yeah, it wasn't a great kick there by Sonny Tyre, but it's definitely putting his team under pressure. But it's been a while since they scored a try. But I want to see Christie get his hands on the ball now and he's back on the field for a second stint.
Yeah, he was tremendous in the first half. And when you have someone like Johnny Docklich as the other prop, the defence is naturally going to gravitate to them. He's such a big body. You know, he probably has his own gravity field, which is why the defence seem to stick to it. And it's going to open up spaces for the other players on the field as Christie takes a nice run there. But I'm not sure who that is from the Storm, but they monstered him. They said, we saw what you did in the first half, and that's not going to happen again.
That to you.
Yeah, the butcher carves up Christie there as Corey Bell takes a nice kick. And he's got a bit of space, but Crutcher, they're just not letting him have the impact that we all know that he can have, Corey Bell.
Yeah, look, there's some saying that he's been the fullback of the year so far, but he's been very good in all this game, but tonight he's just not seeming to get any space. Anytime that he looks to have some space, the defense gets all around him. But I guess they're showing tonight that they don't need Corey Bell to win them games, because so far they're just still competing whenever we're playing still. Look really good so far.
Yeah, exactly. As he's the man himself, he goes through, he's Ponks going to get there. Oh no, I think that was Rashford. Perhaps.
Crutcher, sorry.
With the ankle tap. Crutcher cleaned up. I'm not sure who had the ankle tap. As Mellett takes a nice settler there for the Storm. They're in a good position here to put up a nice bomb. Put some more pressure on this night's defence. As Malchus, the little two-pass out to Sonny Tyre, goes high, quite shallow. And yeah, Davo, the fresh man on the field. Not so much anymore with 20 minutes played, but he was the fresh man on the field and he was able to get above the pack there. When you replace Johnny Docklich, you really have to be good in the air because that man's a giant. But Davo so far is up to the task as Rashford makes a nice line break.
Yeah, I actually thought the Storm defence was offside of that kick, but apparently not. Newcastle's getting a bit unlucky with that one, but they worked their way upfield. That's another great one by Verretto. I think it's a good ball because he's dangerous on the edge. As oh no, they give away a knock on, and that's disappointing from Newcastle.
Yeah, they just finally had a bit of momentum. We even saw the goose step from Pete Brennan to get around Corey Bell, maybe his first missed tackle of the game. So you could see that the momentum was starting to go the Knights' way. But yeah, Johnny Docklich, that big man, couldn't get his big hands around the ball. And a little knock on there. As now the Storm are on the attack, and Sonny Tyre, he's scheming in the middle. You can see him thinking, you can see him plotting away, and he's going to want to finish strong here. As Malchus plays it to Harris, who goes out to Bonzakahu with a little inside ball to Corey Bell, who beats one, but Ponkson's there to wrap him up almost from Corey Bell. We can see how dangerous he could be, but Ponkston says, I'm here, son, and you're not getting past me, as Bonzakahu takes the hit up. Sonny Tyre will be lurking around here for a nice play of the ball, a quick play of the ball, and perhaps a good attacking kick as it goes to Malchus instead, who's pushing over the line but turned on his back there. That's an interesting finish to the set there, Lachlan.
Yeah, I would have liked him to get a repeat set, but it's not the worst finish in the world, keeping him down there. Malchus ran onto it, and yeah, they just keep down there now. The Knights got to just find a way to get out there because they've got to go 100 metres to get a try now. Let's see if they can do it.
Well, that's a good start from Pogson, isn't it? But you're right, with not much time left on the clock, the Storm know if they keep turning the ball over on the Knights 1 metre line, the Knights aren't going to go 100 metres to score unless something extraordinary happens. And so I think that's actually not a bad strategy from the Storm. That's now Mark Vaughan? I'm not sure, takes a run. Brought down by Bonzakahu as Crutcher goes to Coda Diab with a big ball out to Mike Bawson, who goes out to Ponkston. Now, that's the kind of thing you see when a team has nothing but pride to play for, isn't it? A few big cutout passes, but unfortunately, Vico Rashford just found the touchline a step too soon.
He should have just done it and gone himself. I think he gets through there and he has a lot of support there. But now the Melbourne Storm are on the attack once again. Apparently they're not now. And forward pass. I think that just about shows their season right there. Shows both these teams' season. With now, I guess maybe the Knights are playing 4D chess and knew that would happen. Yeah, well, Boston does have a big brain in that big bald head of his, doesn't he? So maybe he knew by not going through himself that they'd end up with a fresh set on the 40-metre line. And now they're into the opposition 20 as just shy of the opposition's 20 as Docklich is brought down heavy there by Malchus and friends, which is hard to do for such a big man. Boston's now with a cutout to Ponkston, who also gets an offload away to Pete Bretto. A lot going on right now for the Knights, but so far the Storm defence is holding strong as Bretto plays it out to Dylan Murray, who goes,
who goes to Alex Christie, but he's too tired from his first half. He had such a cracker first half that he's forgotten how to catch the ball there. As Broughton Thompson's through, just off a nothing play the ball. There was no ruck speed or anything, but with feet like his, he can get through any kind of hole. Now Dylan Sharp goes through again, and Ponkston's not there, and Dylan Sharp's through. Miko Rashford in cover, I think, but no, Dylan Sharp gets through quite comfortably there with a big run, and perhaps that's the try that can break the game open for the Melbourne Storm.
Yeah, look, I think in the end, that's about it. I think from Newcastle, it's going to be hard for them to score 2 tries in 5 minutes, and they haven't looked likely since that first 20 minutes. And I think that's about it for the Newcastle Knights, unfortunately. Disappointing end to their season, to be honest. They started really well, but since about the 30th minute, they've just not been in it.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting game, hasn't it? The Knights did start really well. They were up 12-0, I believe, and now the Storm have read in 22 unanswered points. Maybe it's the home crowd, maybe it's the occasion getting to the likes of Mark Lee, who knows that this is the last time he'll pull on the Knights jersey for quite a while. I'm not sure, but yeah, disappointing end to the season. But on the flip side, the Storm have came home strong here. They'll be left wondering, what if they could have just jagged one more game against the top side? What if they didn't go down by 30 last week in what was essentially a must-win game for them?
Yeah, well, had they won last week, this game would have meant a lot more to them, I feel. But unfortunately, they lost, and well, that's gonna write their season, I think. 24-12. It's just, yeah, no, they haven't been good enough tonight. They've shot a lot of hard. I guess they're not happy about the try. Christie putting a shot on at Dylan Sharp, but they've not been good at all, to be honest, the Newcastle Knights, and it's just been disappointing.
Yeah, it has been disappointing. They started the season with such promise with that resounding win over the Panthers and a 4-try performance from Don Ponkston. You have to wonder if he doesn't get injured. Maybe they have a better season. I'm not sure.
They've ended the season with 6 losses. They won 2 of the first 3 games and lost the next 6, so it's not great there as well. And now Ponkston's going to run on the sideline, so
Ponkston's had enough. He's ready to hit the showers.
Melbourne don't seem like they're done yet.
No, I think, like you said, 6 in a row to finish the season for the Knights, 6 losses. 2 of those were without Ponkston, which is obviously going to hurt. But in a competition as tight as the SRL, you can't afford to go on such a big losing streak. And they'll finish 7th, maybe, I guess, a forward pass.
I think Knights are still playing 40 chest.
Yeah, everyone's ready for this game to be over, and everyone's ready for their season to be over, it looked like, with a couple of mistakes here to finish the game. But Dokalic takes a big hit. Maybe the Knights can drag one back here just for a little bit of pride, just for their fans that have travelled down to Melbourne to finish off the season. As Christie pushes forward strongly. Crutcher out to Bretto, who's been good, but Bonsakar, who has him all wrapped up there. A little bit of help from Sean Walker. I think that's Murray to dummy half. It is to Vaughan, who goes out to Ponkston. Out to Borsons, who's been good so far in this halfback jersey. It'll be interesting next season to see if that's where he plays for the Titans. As Coda Diab now ball playing out to Christie. Their props are doing a lot of work here tonight. I'd like to see perhaps their halves getting a bit more involved in their good sets. Maybe that could have changed the game for them a little bit. I'm not sure. As Vaughan goes high, out to Brian Thompson. And I thought that was a mid-air tackle. I'm not sure what you thought, Lachlan.
I thought it was a good hit, to be honest. Christie, another big shot on. He's not happy. They have not been done much in attack, but he's been good in defence since he's come back on.
Yeah, definitely. He's been one of the Knights' best. Perhaps if they all played with his kind of enthusiasm, this could have been a different result. As Sonny Ty was straight through a hole there, but passes it off to Ben Punch. A couple of players that might not be there next year for the Storm, linking up for perhaps the final time. And this is the kind of good set that the Knights strung together so many times in the first 20 minutes, didn't they? They kept the Storm in their half, and then they have a big kick return. Sonny Ty has been an interesting man today, with a few tremendous kicks that have forced on Ponkston over the sideline, but also a few kicks like that. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Perhaps his mind's already with the Cronulla Sharks, as that's full time. The Storm run out are a comfortable 24-12 winners in the end. Thoughts, Lachlan?
Yeah, look, both teams playing with pride. There's a lot of good stuff out there. There's also a lot of stuff that represent both these team seasons. Very sloppy game, but in the end, Melbourne will be happy to come away with the victory there. It's a good game from them. They definitely deserve it. And Knights, they have a lot to work on for next season.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said. The Knights have shown that they can match it with some good teams, but they do have a lot to work on for the next season. I thought Blake Harris was tremendous. for the Melbourne Storm. He really got them going forward. 270 metres, of course, he played hooker. But 2 line breaks and a try with 2 try assists. That's almost a career performance.
That's a very good point for play cast. I also like the point I mentioned Riley Murray and NBT. I think they both played really strongly for their sides. And so the tie 249 metres, kick misses isn't too bad, but he had 13 kicks, which I feel like is a lot for kicks. I feel like a lot of his kicks were kind of shocking, to be honest, but not too bad.
He had some absolute pearlers, didn't he? But he also had some that barely travelled 4 metres. So, yeah, a real mixed bag for him tonight.
Yeah, look, in the end, they probably a bit disappointed with their seasons, but Melbourne have been ended on a high.
Yeah, definitely. I thought the Knights contained Corey Bell. Well, today only 117 metres, 5 line breaks, but I feel like no real big ones. Will Kay played the first 40 at lock for only 29 metres, which is, I don't know, it's not the output you would expect from the captain or the regular captain. Of course, Sonny Tai let him out today.
Yeah, look, Corey Bell, I want to point out this. Corey Bell, 23 tackles. That's just too much for a fullback. It's just, like, that's too much in my opinion.
Yeah, and maybe that's why he wasn't as effective on the offensive side of the ball. He was too busy, fatigued from all the tackles that he was making. As we look at the Knights, Borson's
that's a lot of 20.
Yeah, I was about to say, Borson's had a good defensive game, I thought. 22 tackles and none missed.
A halfback shouldn't have taken that many tackles. But it's a good job from Borson's. 22 no missed, but he shouldn't have to make that many tackles.
32 tackles for Crutch is pretty good as well, with only the 1 missed. Dom Ponkston, 243 metres. Crutch at 218 metres, of course, out of hooker. Vredo felt like he went for more than 143, didn't he? Because he had a big impact on the game.
Yeah, I thought like he was very good. I also thought Ponkston was very good. I thought, the Knights had a lot of good, like Mark Lee, I thought showed some heart, but in the end, it just wasn't good enough. And the Knights come away with the loss of the Melbourne Storm, picking up victory at home.
Yeah, and I guess both teams will now be focusing on next season, won't they? Because there's no more games for either of these teams. I think the Storm had to win by about 60 today and have results go their way in other games to have any chance. Last words from you, Lachlan?
This is only their 3rd win of the season, so I don't think they could even make it.
Yeah, right. Well, I must be looking at the wrong ladder. Anyway, I'm Sticko Bro, joined by Lachlan Martin.
This might be their 4th win. I might be wrong.
I thought it was their 4th win. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm Sticko Bro, joined by Lachlan Martin. Best of luck to both teams in the new season.
Pan 5.